Okay, thank you for doing the interview with us. Most important question first, like how are you and how has been tour so far?
I'm good, thank you. And tour has been amazing. We're having such a good time. This is our first time in Vienna, so I hope the show's going to be great. I'm sure everyone's going to be awesome, and I don't know, I'm just having a really good time. It's been really fun.
Okay, good to hear. Is there any city that like stood out so far, like a really energetic crowd or something like this?
Yes, when we did Lisbon in Portugal, I did not expect it to be that loud, but they were like screaming from beginning to end. Like literally crazy. I don't know how they had that much energy for like 3 hours, but it was amazing.
I think you wrote something on social media about it, right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Good to know. All right. At the end of last year, you released your album. I really loved the album. It's like really, I would say, like the lyrics are really honest and raw. So that's what I really appreciate about it. How's been the response so far? Because it's been out for some months now.
It's been great. I really, it's always a scary thing to release your second album because you don't know if your fans are going to like it or what they're going to think of it. But all of my fans have been so supportive of it, and it seems like they're really into it, and that a lot of the new songs are overdubbing their the old songs for being their favorite, which is great because. I mean, of course, I love the old songs too, but I always love when I see, like, I thought this song was great, but this one on this record is even better, so it feels amazing.
Are there any fan favorites, like, from the album that really stood out?
Everybody has a different favorite, which is the best. Like, that's the best outcome for me, is they always fight over, like, which one is better, which I love, because it's way better than someone just liking one song.
Yeah. I picked one song, Wherever I Live, I really like, and because like the lyrics are really like simple, but it also tells a story. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about the song and what inspired you to write it.
Yeah, well, I wrote that song a couple years ago when I was on tour, actually in the middle of my last tour, and it's basically for me about making a home out of a place, because there's a difference between living somewhere and making it a home, you know. And when you're traveling to different hotels every day and when you're on tour, it's hard to kind of understand where home is, or what home is, or what that concept is. Yeah, so that song for me was just trying to like make everything feel okay and saying, home can be wherever I live, because I'm there, and if I can make it a home, then that's what the idea of home can be, you know.
That's really beautiful. There's a lyric in the song from the TV show Friends, right? It's like Rachel talks to Phoebe. Are you a fan of the show, or?
Yes, I love that show. That's definitely a reference made on purpose because I do love that show. And I also like that seems to always be playing in hotel rooms for some reason.
Really?
It's always on. So yeah.
Okay, this is why. All right, so let me skip this. One song that's really popular here in Europe is "Gas to You're Beautiful." It's like really still a big song here, and I think the song tells a really important message. And more musicians like sing about body positivity. And do you think it's like more just a trend right now to do that, or do you think like change is actually happening in society?
I think change is actually happening. I mean, even if it were a trend, hey, who cares? If people are still talking about it, it doesn't matter. I think it's so important to do that, and for people like me and artists like me, or people in the public like me to talk about that, because a lot of people who aren't in the public or who look up to artists like myself maybe sometimes feel like they are not, or like they're lesser than, because they maybe don't look like all glammed up all the time, or they don't look perfect. And what they need to know is that a lot of people in the public eye are constantly like being photoshopped and edited and glammed for hours. Totally. So it's important for those people who are, being glammed up for hours, saying like, hey, this isn't always realistic, and I feel insecure some days too, and this is what I really look like, and this is who I really am. Yeah. It's so important to do that. So whether it's a trend or not, I mean, I hope it's a trend forever, because it's so necessary,
Yeah, that's true. I think you already answered it, but like, how hard is it to take your own advice in this industry sometimes?
It's very hard. I think it's hard to take my own advice in general in life. It's hard to take our own advice, but it can be tough because, we're in an industry that is all about, a facade and the way that things look and entertainment, and I'm very against that stuff, so it's kind of hard to go against the grain when you have a bunch of people trying to tell you the opposite. But, I mean, I don't know. I try really hard to not let it get to me, and I feel like I've stayed very true to myself, and, I'm not afraid of, like, going out without makeup or any of that stuff, because I just feel like it's me, and there's nothing wrong with doing it, and there's nothing wrong with not doing it either. So yeah.
Keep on doing that. I think it's great to have like a role model like you to look up to.
Thank you.
It's really cool. Like, do you have advice for people who struggle with self-love?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first step to remembering, you know, what it means to love yourself is that you're gonna have days, or to understand that you're gonna have days where you don't, and that's okay. It's not a bad thing, you know, to look at yourself and be like, I don't like the way I look today, or I don't feel 100%. It's fine. It's gonna happen. I wish it didn't happen, but it's going to. So you don't have to be perfect at it, and I don't think we'll ever be perfect at it, of course, because we're humans. But you know, as long as you feel like your life is worth living, as long as you feel like you are a worth it person, then that's all that's where the difference happens. And I think it's okay to have bad days as long as you know that there's nothing wrong with you, and that you don't need to alter your body for other people. If you want to do something or glam yourself up for you, that's fine, but don't ever feel like you have to do it for others. And just know that like there's so much more to life than how we look, and there's so much more to life than the little things that we put pressure on ourselves for. You know, we don't have to be perfect. Like the life is so short, you know. We gotta just be happy and do whatever makes us happy, rather than like trying to please other people, because those people are probably trying to please you too, and it's a back and forth. So why just not just please ourselves, you know?
I love that advice. It could be a whole song itself.
Thank you. I'll write it next time.
Yeah, okay, write it down. Just some quick question for the end. Like, what is your happy song at the moment? Do you have one?
Happy song is probably Sunflower by Vampire Weekend. My happy song.
Okay, nice to know. Are you a person that like listen to a whole album, or you like create a playlist and throw random songs inside?
I do both, but I am an album person. I love listening to albums. I get so excited when somebody releases an album.
Is there an album right now you're listening to that like stands out from the usual stuff you're listening to?
Well, the Billie Eilish album, I think, is so different artistically. I haven't heard anything like that in a very long time, if ever. So that's probably one that I'm looking forward to listening to more and really grasping, because it's so artistically, like, articulate and crazy, and I love it. I think it's really interesting, and I want to sit with it and figure it out.
Yeah, I really like her too. It's like really cool to watch her music video and all that stuff like this. You also have a music video coming up, right? How was the shoot for it? Like, what can we expect from it?
It was really fun, the shoot. It's a very somber video, and we shot it all on film. It's a very pretty video, which I feel like goes with the song really well. So it's simple, but I think you can expect some really pretty shots. And not of me, but just like in general. Not pretty shots of me.
Okay.
Yeah, in life, in general.
Looking forward to it. And since you're on tour with Sean, do you have a favorite song of his?
Yeah, I have a bunch. And the more that I am on tour with him, the more I develop. But I would say probably Lost in Japan is my favorite. Yeah. Lost in Japan, or Nervous, or Particular Taste, or Never Be Alone. Okay. But probably Lost in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's my favorite too. And Nervous as well. Perfect. Really? Yeah, it's really cool. All right, like, let's come to the last question. Another song that's really popular here is How Far I'll Go, because like Disney is like popular worldwide, I would say. And how was it like to be like part of a Disney movie for you?
It was amazing. I never expected it. I mean, obviously it's Disney, so you have to expect it a bit, but I didn't expect it to be this, like, universal and worldwide. And everywhere I go, like, we sing the song in the set for this tour, and no matter where we go, what language everybody speaks, they're singing every word. And it's crazy how Disney can do that. And I'm so honored to be a part of a song like that forever. You know, it's gonna go on forever, and the fact that I had a tiny part of that is, like, the best feeling.
Cool. I told my dad that I'm going to interview you, and he was like, "Who?" And I was like, "The girl who sings to Disney." Was, "Oh, it's her! Oh my God!"
Literally, all parents, every parent in the world doesn't know me until like you mentioned that song, and they're like, "Oh, that's you!" It's so funny. That's gonna be that forever, I think.
Yeah. Thank you for the interview. Thank you really much.
Thank you.
I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you so much.